This is my audience. Okay. Everyone is getting older each and every day. At some point, you may need to put a loved one into an assisted living facility. These facilities have many rules to follow to make sure they have a safe and healthy environment for your loved one to live in. There are different levels of assisted living, one being a CBRF. A CBRF is a community-based residential facility, and it means, according to Wisconsin Department of Health and Services, a place where 5 or more unrelated adults reside, in which care, treatment, or services above the level of room and board, but not including nursing care, are provided to persons residing in the facility as a primary function of the facility. I have been working at Our House Senior Living for the past 2 years. I started out as a residential care assistant, which had me working firsthand with all the residents, taking care of them, and I then soon moved to being a lead, where I worked in the office and learned a lot of the state regulations we have to follow. Running a CBRF calls for lots of work, with starting up the business, complying with state regulations, and training staff. I'm going to walk you through the process of starting a CBRF up. First, you have to ask for permission. According to the Wisconsin Department of Health and Services page, starting a community-based residential facility, you have to follow these steps. All CBRFs, regardless of the size, shall plan a submittal prepared by a design professional, submitted to DHS, reviewed prior to construction. Existing structures seeking CBRF shall also have completed the plan review process prior to licensure. If an existing CBRF is being considered for purchase, it is important to note that there is no transferred licensure. Once they have received the application, state must come and look at the facility before letting you open one. They have 70 days to agree or deny it. Every 2 years, then, you have to renew it, and you keep it in your state book so you have the paperwork to show that you are licensed. You also have to give caregiver background checks to upper management and the people working firsthand with the residents. That is every 4 years for the state, but Our House Senior Living asks every 2 years. Once you have received permission to open up the facility and gotten the background checks, you must follow the state regulations. This chapter in the DHS, this is chapter 83, all of this right here is what you have to follow, all the rules. Okay. It states right away, authority and purpose. This chapter is promulgated under the authority of Wisconsin Stats to develop services, to establish regulations and standards for the care, treatment, or services, and health, safety, rights, welfare, and comfort of residents in CBRFs. In the DHS, it covers the program statement, which talks all about the house and what you should be following and what your house, like how many people can live in the house, and also the order of operations in contacting someone, such as going from upper management down to, if no one else is in the building, the med passer's in charge. That is kept in the state book as well as we have 2 bulletin boards in the hallways, and it's on each bulletin board. There are rules in the DHS that need to be followed in order to keep the residents safe, such as no cleaning products in the kitchen, and when you're working in the kitchen, to wash your hands and use food prep gloves, as well as washing your hands before and after caring for a resident. There's more than just health, though. There are other things, such as restraints. We cannot lock our front doors or back doors because residents have to have the ability to leave when they want. If a resident is trying to leave, staff must go with them to make sure they are safe. As well as you have to report things such as day-to-day activity and how the resident's doing, and then also if you expect any abuse. You must report anything you find abnormal to make sure the house is safe. Once you know all the state regulations, now it's time to get your staff in and trained. According to the UW-Oshkosh website, which is the Wisconsin State Registry, the DHS 83, which was updated in April of 2009, all CBRF employees must have fire safety, first aid and choking, medication administration, and standard precautions. At our house, every employee must have standard precautions before they can start working on the floor, and then they must get the rest within 90 days. Along with that, the house has many other trainings, such as lifting and transferring, dealing with challenging behaviors, residents' rights, and marketing, so the staff can give their best work. That is all covered in new hire orientation, which is done along with standard precautions, and then once you have those two done, you start shadowing on the floor for 2 days, and then you are good to go. So once you have your CBRF's license, you understand the rules, and you have your staff trained, you now know what to look for when putting a loved one into an assisted living facility. In the end, would you prefer to know what kind of treatment and services they get to make sure they have their best possible care? Here is my audience.